I recently published an article covering the 7 traits of 7 10-baggers. In fact, you can see it by going to sharepickers.com and clicking on the About menu option there. One of the traits of these hugely successful businesses was they often traded so well their upcoming results were ahead of expectations. The company I'm covering today has, since January 2023, announced 7 trading updates ahead of expectations. Not only that, they've also experienced 16 consecutive quarters of growth, 3 consecutive years of top-line double-digit growth, and 3 consecutive years of double-digit profit growth. In fact, one of those years, they did triple-digit profit growth. And the amazing bit is this: they are undervalued. They are trading currently on a forecast PE in single digits. The content of this video should not be regarded as investment advice. It is for information purposes only. Please do your own research or seek the advice from a regulated financial advisor. That company is Time Finance. What do? Time Finance is an alternative finance provider that loans money to small and medium-sized businesses through invoice financing or asset finance. Why don't these businesses go to the banks? Good question. Since the great financial crisis, due to stricter lending criteria, traditional banks have reduced their loans to small and medium-sized enterprises. In 2014, the 5 biggest banks provided 63% of lending to SMEs, but their share has decreased to 40%. In 2021, alternative finance providers and challenger banks lending to SMEs surpassed that of the big 5 banks. Alternative finance providers and challenger banks have outperformed the UK's big 5 banks for the 4th year in a row up until 2024. Time Finance specialise in 2 areas. Invoice financing allows businesses to sell outstanding invoices to Time Finance. So if a company, for example, sells something to a bigger company and that company intends to pay in 90 days, the smaller business may need cash more immediately. So they can sell that invoice to Time Finance, and Time Finance will pay them the money straight away as a loan, and they charge interest on it. Asset-based lending, or ABL, loans are secured by businesses' assets. So if a company needs cash, they can take out a loan secured on the assets of the business. So if the loan goes bad, which we never want to happen, but if it does go bad, then Time have the assets. Now, this is all about risk management. When you're loaning money to people or getting it from somewhere else, it's all about managing the risk, and Time are very good at this. For them, risk management is of the highest priority. Here are the key risks. So around about 10% of the money Time loans out is their own money, but the rest of it is loaned, and then Time charge a margin on top of that. Okay, so you have to be sure that your funders who are providing you with the money are secure. So they have 8 big long-standing funding partners, and not one of these companies make up 35% of their total funding. So it's quite diversified. And these are big companies, so this is not really a risk. A bigger risk really is loan risk. So they have to make sure Time that the companies they loan money to can pay them back. Of course, there's lots of due diligence done before this ever happens, and sometimes they will not accept the deal and they'll broker it off to somebody else and get a fee. But if it fits their lending criteria, then Time will loan a company money, and just to make sure they don't overexpose to one company, their biggest customer makes up less than 2% of their total loan book. And not only that, the largest sector makes up less than 15% of the book, and the top 10 sectors account for roughly a third. So they are well diversified. They have 8 big funding partners, and the biggest individual loan is less than 2% of their loan book. And you can see here, as far as arrears are concerned, they've done very well. Since 2021, arrears have fallen from 12% down to now 5%, where it's been quite stable. 6% it was last year, 5% is now. So the arrears have been consistent at 5%, and the write-offs pretty much at 1%. So what happens is, with a company that's in arrears, it can be a case of just Time calling up saying, you've missed a payment, please make the payment, and they make the payment. Now, of that 5%, pretty much 4% catch up with their arrears, and they're fine, and the loan gets paid off and the interest on it. But 1% of that 5% goes bad, and they lose money, and that happens in every loan business, but 1% is very manageable. Having said that, Time are very conservative on the provision, so they put aside 3%, but they've only ever really had write-offs of 1% in the last few years. The strategy, worth touching on this. In 2021, Ed Rimmer became the new CEO. They changed the name from 1PM to Time Finance. They streamlined their products, and they decided to more than double the group's gross lending book organically from current level to approximately 250 million by May 2025. Why is this significant? Previous to 2021, Time Finance used to operate a sort of hybrid model, where they brokered out loans and their own book lending were pretty much equal. Now they're focused on their own lending book and growing that. They still do brokered loans, so if certain loans do not fit their criteria, maybe they're too high risk or the margin isn't there, then they can broker those out and they get a one-off fee. When they loan off their own book, they earn interest on that loan for the life of the loan. So it keeps paying interest month after month, year after year, enabling them to loan more and repeat the growth. In short, lending off their own book compounds revenue and profit growth, improves the margins and return on equity. You can see here. So with brokered loans, let's say they do 3 loans, 3 different loans, one in year 1, one in year 2, one in year 3 for £1 million each. They get a commission, a one-off fee of 15% for each loan. The total would be 450,000. Now let's say they do 3 loans of £1 million, one each year, and they get 15%. Then the first year they earn 15%, 150 grand. Second year they do another loan, $1 million, they earn another 15%. So then the year after that they do another loan for 1 million and they get 15% on that as well. So by year 3, they're earning 15% a year off each loan. You can see the massive difference in the revenue and profit growth that would achieve compared to just brokering out loans. Now what I like about this is that it means it can scale efficiently. So you've got double-digit top-line growth, but what's happening is profit is growing even faster. The margins are going up. That shows a business can scale efficiently. I look at and I invest in small companies, and what I look for specifically in small companies is, can they scale? Can they go from a micro cap to a small cap, maybe from a small cap to a mid cap? If they can't scale efficiently, they can't do that. Time can do that. They can keep scaling that loan book, and the revenue will go up, and the profit will go up even faster. And the more profit they grow, the stronger the balance sheet, the more they can loan, and the more money they grow. It's a virtuous circle. But has the strategy translated into good results? Let's have a look. In 2023, they announced that their 6 months, or results 6 months, would be significantly ahead of expectations. Then in March 2023, they now said full year results are to be ahead of recently increased expectations. And in November 23, full year results expect to be ahead of market expectations. June 2024, lending book increased to 200 million, a 12th consecutive quarter of growth. And they said revenue and profitability is going to be ahead of market expectations. 12th November 2024, full year results now expect to be ahead of market expectations. This is 25, February 25. Full year results now expect to be ahead of market expectations. And in June 2025, full year trade update, notice of results, record revenues and lending book. And the revenues and profitability are going to be ahead of market expectations. Let's look at the financials, so it stacks up against this. So growth, 16 consecutive quarters of own lending book growth. 2023, lending book up 24%, 170 million. Revenue up 14% to 27 million. Profit for tax up 298% to 4.2 million. And the margin went from 4% up to 16%. That's the benefit of own book lending, that compounding effect. In 2024, lending book up 18% to 201 million. Revenue up 18% to 33.2 million. Profit for tax up 40%. See, it's growing faster than the revenue to 5.9 million. Profit for tax margin 18% now, up from 16 the year before. And in 2025, lending book up 8% to 217 million. Revenue up 11% to 37 million. Profit for tax up 34%, growing faster again to 7.9 million. And profit for tax margin is now going up 3 basis points, 21% versus 18. So you see the scalability, the efficiency of scale here. It's getting better the bigger they're getting. But you must think, surely a company like this, putting ahead of expectations, trading updates 7 times since 2023 must be quite highly valued. Nope. They are on a price-earnings ratio at 8 for 2025. 8 times. The broker reckons it should be about 17.2 times. So let's look at the PEG ratio. This is for price earnings growth. This is more suitable for growing companies. Okay, the ratio below or above 1 is overvalued, equal to 1 fair value, below 1 undervalued. Times PEG ratio 0.35. Brokers have set a 12-month target, and this was set, I think, back in June, maybe a bit earlier than that. So it's just a 12-month target. So they reckon they should be hitting this within 12 months of 112 pence. Current price is 55 pence. Upside there is 104%. Now, the 2028 strategy has been refined pretty much. They know they're doing the right thing. It's all working out well. So all they've done pretty much is say, we're going to do more of the same. We're going to increase the gross lending book. They're hoping to get above 300 million on their own book. And of course, that would power revenue, profit, and margins, and return on equity as well. Now, they want to increase the profit margins to 25%, and revenue would be around about 55 million, looking at their previous growth and their margin off the gross book. Net profit is not pre-tax, net profit of 10 million. And 2028, this would mean the target price at 17 times. So for 2028, this would mean a target price around about £1.84, which is a 234% increase from where it is now at 55 pence. And like I said, they can do this by doing the same thing they've been doing since 2021, slowly increasing that loan book, which helps the revenue, which helps the margins, which helps the profit, and it helps return on equity. Now, if I were you, I would take a bit of time, apologies, to do some research on this company, because it's literally, they're doing the same thing they did since 2021. It's working out, and they're going to do more of it in the next 3 years. Thanks for watching.